So it's been a while ever since we've gotten any kind of The Boys news in general. Even news for Gen V at the time of this recording has been pretty quiet. But we've gotten some news from the cast in the recent Deadline article, to which Eric Kripke says there will probably be lots of deaths, and there's no guarantee of who's gonna survive. This sounds like the usual hype language a showrunner would say just to keep things vague, but with a show like The Boys and Season 5 being the last season, I feel like we can actually take his word for it. Not a lot of characters are gonna be leaving this season completely unscathed. So in today's video, we're gonna be ranking who I personally think will end up alive or dead, with some surprising theories on today's video. Okay, just before we start, I want to remind you guys that we are doing #mailbag, where we will pick a question from the comments and answer it on our video. So if you're interested, just leave a question you want answered down below. Okay, so into The Boys. I want to preface the rules here that there will be spoilers for the original comic book run, so if you're reading through that, click off now. Also, I picked about 28 characters to which I think will have some attention paid to them during the final season. These are characters that we've seen before, because I know that some are going to be introduced in Season 5, but I'm not clairvoyant, so we're sticking to the characters that we've seen and heard from, including characters from Gen V, because those shows have mixed together important plot elements and characters, so it makes sense that maybe the characters from Gen V will also show up in Season 5. I also ranked them by guaranteed staying alive, more than likely staying alive, unsure, more than likely dying, and guaranteed dying. All pretty self-explanatory. Okay, so now that the rules are set, let's get into it. First up on our list, it's Billy Butcher. Now, this one was super easy to predict just because of everything that's happened to him in the previous season after abusing Temp V. He ended up getting a cancerous tumor wrapped around his brain, with his doctor even giving him maybe a year and some change. After dealing with his dark side stuff with Joe Kessler and becoming a Venom-like soup in the process, it's clear that Butcher is hell-bent on killing Homelander in the next season, even if that means that he dies in the process. That's the look of a man who doesn't care if he comes back. He's just gotta take out the guy that's been on his list forever. So that's why Butcher goes into guaranteed dying. Huey Campbell. If Butcher's the soul of The Boys, Huey's the heart. He comes a long way from the jittery tech guy in Season 1, but he's still the moral compass of the show. Huey's entire arc is that he's the straight man who's been getting slowly corrupted by the madness that's being in the world of The Boys will do. But it doesn't seem right for Huey to just die, especially since in the comics, Huey was the last surviving member of The Boys, so maybe the writers want to echo that. So that's why he's going into guaranteed alive. Starlight. So Starlight has been through some rough stuff, but she doesn't seem like the kind of person who will die in the show. Then again, she's the main enemy for Homelander on the public side of things, but since she escaped, it seems like she'll likely free Huey and the rest of the boys, so she's going into more than likely staying alive. Now, Kimiko and Frenchie are ranked together because their stories are so intertwined. In the comic, they were killed together by Butcher, and their last scene in Season 4, they had Frenchie arrested while Kimiko was being held back. Now, the show may or may not kill them off, but there isn't enough foreshadowing on the show's part, at least from what I've seen, to determine they are really gonna die, so they go into the unsure pile. Mother's Milk. MM is the more rational guy of the group, but having Soldier Boy pop back up in the show complicates things. If he dies, it's a tragedy considering that he has a family, so I'm gonna put him in most likely safe. It just seems right. Joe Kessler. Kessler's basically Butcher's devil on the shoulder. He's already pretty much dead in the show, at least his real life counterpart, but his imaginary status is confirmed and he's more of a psychological device than a real character. So he'll die when Butcher finally kicks it, when he goes out like a martyr, or Butcher last minute redeems himself and we see him disappear. So yeah, into the dying pile that he goes. Homelander. Look, there is no way that The Boys ends without Homelander facing the consequences. He's way too dangerous, way too unstable, and too central to the conflict to, escape or whatever. There are people gunning for him. Whether it's Butcher, Ryan, or even a team effort, someone's gonna take him out. His death isn't just likely, it's necessary for the show to end. For closure, for catharsis, for the safety of literally everyone, he is the main bad guy of the show, and Season 5 is the finale, so, you know. Again, he's taken over the United States. It's kind of hard for people to ignore him as a threat. It's now or never. So, into guaranteed dying he goes. A-Train. He's been on a redemption arc kind of, but let's be honest, his time feels almost up. After everything with Blue Hawk and the heart transplant, he's not really the man that he used to be. And also he's, just warming up to people, realizing that he's not really supposed to be this corrupted soup. And the thing with his family, that really just kind of cements everything. His loyalty to Vought is just done too. and he's ran away to safety, but I don't think it's going to be the last we see of A-Train. I definitely have a feeling that he's coming back with somebody or like a team of people to come and finish off Homelander. The Deep. He's a comic relief character, but in that sad, pathetic way. The show has really dragged him through the mud so many times, and yeah, it was mostly deserved because people kind of forget that he is a piece of shit. And at this point, it feels like the only thing left for him is a final desperate move, maybe even dying, trying to prove that he was worth something. He won't get a heroic death, but he'll probably get a messy one. Yeah, he's the peak, I know, in the comment section you're going to be saying it, but the guy's pretty much sunk into fully blindly following Homelander, and that's something that won't work out for him. So yeah, he might be on the chopping block. Firecracker. Introduced in season 4, she's already started some serious trouble. Firecracker is just like way too volatile to last. She's sucked up to Homelander as his main public voice on her show, and as his personal, I'm gonna just go ahead and say confidant because I can't say what else it is. Getting close to Homelander hasn't really worked out for anyone, and she's no exception. So yeah, onto the death block she goes. Sister Sage. She's brilliant and manipulative and still, to be honest, kind of a mystery. So if anyone's smart enough to survive the end of the final season of The Boys by hiding behind the scenes or switching allegiances, it's her. But if Homelander goes down, she might get caught in the crossfire. She's too smart to be alive, so her fate depends entirely on how useful she can remain to Homelander and if the boys just don't target her. Because she's still like only human and nothing is more unpredictable than Homelander. So yeah, unsure. Queen Maeve. Next is a surprise. Queen Maeve. She faked her death and walked away from like the nightmare that is being part of the Seven at the end of season 3, and that's the last time that we saw her. But the war is heating up again, and with a mess that Homelander's making, it could force her to come back for like one final stand. It's a 50-50 whether she survives. It'd be tragic to only bring her back to kill her, but also poetic if her arc ends with her dying on her own terms and being a hero. Black Noir. Okay, so season 3 already killed off the original Noir, and the new one's basically a puppet. He doesn't really have the same weight behind him anymore, and with the Seven crumbling and him in the Deep starting this whole bromance thing, it seems like there's no need to keep a replacement around. Expect him to be like another disposable dude, especially with how weirdly chill he is about all this. Ashley Barrett. Okay, Ashley's been slowly unraveling for like seasons now, and with everything Vought's responsible for, someone's gotta pay. She's the face of corporate complicity, as well as being in charge of essentially covering up all the messed up stuff that the heroes do, and has been really, really bad for her mental health. Plus, remember she took the compound V that looked like it was mutating her really bad last time we saw her, so yeah, she's guaranteed dying next season. Maybe as a weird mutated monster. Marie Monroe. She's the main character of Gen V, and she's got like way too much narrative weight. Whether she joins the main show or gets wrapped back into her own spinoff, that remains to be seen, but Marie is mostly away from the events of season 5 along with the rest of the cast of Gen V, so she's mostly safe, but the next people on this list, maybe not. Kate and Sam. Okay, so Kate's powers are terrifying, and she's already proven to be unstable. After what went down in Gen V, it's hard to imagine that she gets a clean slate. Sam too, he's been along for the ride because of all the trauma that he went through. With Kate and Sam working in Homelander's regime as some of his personal enforcers, they're pretty much have the same target on their backs as Homelander, so yeah, they're probably dying. Andre Anderson. Andre is stuck in the holding cell along with Marie and the rest of the cast of Gen V. That's not Sam and Kate. He's technically second on the main character list behind Marie and Gen V, but with everything going on in season 5, and if the two series mix more than they have, I'm not sure if some of the Gen V cast will survive. Which one it is that's gonna eat it, I'm not too sure. Emma Meyer. Same deal here. Emma's powers are interesting, but she's not exactly bulletproof. Having her powers being growing small, maybe if recruited by the boys she can sneak into the 7 tower, but she might just be the one we lose to raise the stakes. Who knows? So we're keeping her at unsure. Jordan Lee. Jordan's one of the more compelling characters in Gen V, also one of the most powerful. Their survival depends on how involved they get in season 5, which is why they, and pretty much everyone else in that bunker besides Marie, is on the unsure block. We haven't seen where their character arcs are gonna go because season 2 hasn't released yet. Adam Bork. This dude is pretty much a parody of every scheming, gross Hollywood abuse type. The guy really has nothing else going on other than being comic relief, and the fact is that Homelander doesn't really care for him. You could tell when he had Bonnie pay back Adam for being a creep. Yeah, he's not gonna be long for this season. Donna January. Starlight's mom has been in and out of the story, and her role has always been more emotional than plot-driven. More than likely, Starlight fled to Arizona where her mom is to protect her and regroup and plan how to get the boys out of prison. So her mom could be in danger with her there or not. Who knows? Unsure. Robert Singer. As president, he was a target, plain and simple. Homelander already tried to take him out once, but he's currently sitting in jail right now because considering the fact he has information that Victoria attempted to take his place because of Homelander's direct scheming, well, I don't see him staying alive for too long considering that he's a loose end. So, yeah, Robert's not gonna be there for long. Ryan Butcher. Ryan is probably the main thing that is keeping Butcher from fully turning to the dark side. Yeah, I know he's on Team Homelander right now, but the writers have been building to his interpersonal conflict. His mom instilled some good values in him. Although Homelander is trying to corrupt him, there are cracks in Homelander's hold on him. He'll snap out of it. He's a teenager, and he's just as powerful as Homelander. Soldier Boy. If he gets out of that pod again, it won't be just to chill out and go retire. Remember, he's Homelander's dad, and Homelander sees him that way. As soon as he gets out, they may team up against the boys and wipe them out because Soldier Boy also has a grudge against them for reneging on their part of the deal at the end of Season 3. But Soldier Boy is a scumbag, and might turn on Homelander before the end of Season 5, and help end him. Stan Edgar. He's the pupper master behind Vought. Stan's been laying low and was in jail for a bit because of Victoria Newman. But now that Victoria is gone and Homelander's taking over the United States, Stan is probably waiting for someone to inevitably take him out. Remember, he's a corporate scumbag, but even he knows that throwing the US into a coup screws with business. He might help out the boys with some secret to take out Homelander. Senator Calhoun. Calhoun is a pro-Homelander politician who is more than willing to let the coup happen that would have had Robert Singer assassinated. What is whack is that he's also just stepped aside literally and let Homelander take control of the United States. He might outlive his usefulness at some point and end up dead, as well as maybe in the finale. Daphne Campbell. We don't know a ton about her yet, which makes her survival really uncertain. If the show decides to give Huey more personal stakes in the final season, maybe she gets pulled into the fire, or maybe she stays on the sidelines. For now, it's really hard to say considering she's only had 2 episode appearances and showed up in the latest season, so finally we're putting her at unsure. And there we have it, my personal tier list for who will survive and who will die in The Boys Season 5. I really hope I'm right, and when the season comes out, I'll check back on this video later and see how right or wrong I was. But that's gonna do it for today's video. Remember to give us your mailbag questions, and see you guys next time.